Starting with the fighting in Iraq. Iraqi troops faced stiff resistance on Saturday from Islamic State militants as they pushed deeper into eastern Mosul, backed by aerial support from the US-led international coalition. At dawn, troops moved into the Muharibin and Yulama neighborhoods after fully liberating the adjacent Tahrir neighborhood on Friday, according to a senior Special Forces commander. He added that IS militants were fighting back with snipers, rocket-propelled grenades, and mortar rounds. Shortly before noon, a suicide bomber emerged from a house in the Tahrir neighborhood and attacked security forces, wounding 4 troops. On to Sanaa's crisis, the Saudi-led military coalition declared a 48-hour ceasefire in Yemen on Saturday on the condition that Shiite rebels abide by it and allow humanitarian assistance into besieged cities, mainly Taiz. The Saudi news agency SPA carried a statement from the coalition that said the truce would take effect at 12 p.m. Yemeni time on Saturday and that it could be renewed. The coalition also warned the Houthi rebels against any sort of military movement. However, activists in Taiz said that rebel shelling continued despite the ceasefire. And going to Maiduguri, Nigeria's National Emergency Management Agency says troops have gunned down a suicide bomber at a transit camp for refugees from Boko Haram in the northeastern city of Maiduguri. The Saturday attack is the 6th in 3 weeks in the Nigerian city that was the birthplace of the Islamic extremist uprising. Security forces have foiled most of the attacks. Meanwhile, on Friday, 5 suicide bombers targeted a police checkpoint and a bus station near the transit camp, killing 4 of themselves and 2 civilian self-defense fighters. And moving on to New Delhi, rebels ambushed 2 Indian Army vehicles early Saturday and killed at least 3 soldiers and critically wounded 4 others in the country's remote northeast. The attack took place in a forest area near Pengari, a town east of Guwahati, according to police officials. Officials also said the rebels used homemade bombs to stop an army jeep and a truck that attacked the soldiers with rocket-propelled grenades and AK-47 assault rifles. It's worth mentioning that this was the second attack by insurgents this week in the region. Onto the Indian-Pakistani dispute. Pakistan's military says Indian troops have conducted unprovoked cross-border firing in the disputed Himalayan region of Kashmir, triggering an intense exchange of fire. The military on Saturday said Pakistani troops are returning fire and giving a befitting response. However, an Indian army officer blamed Pakistan for initiating the exchange. The latest shootout comes a day after Pakistan's navy claimed it had detected and stopped Indian submarines from entering the country's territorial waters in the Arabian Sea, but India denied the claim. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of yellow shirt protesters rallied on Saturday in Kuala Lumpur, seeking Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak's resignation over a financial scandal, undeterred by a police ban and the arrest of more than a dozen activists. Protesters marched in downtown Kuala Lumpur and later moved to the Petronas Twin Towers after failing to enter Independence Square, the city's main protest venue, which was locked down by police. Former Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad also joined the rally, adding momentum to the demonstration, and the rally ended peacefully after a downpour. On the other side of the world, South Korea is seeing its biggest wave of street demonstrations in decades. Tens of thousands of people filled a major avenue in downtown Seoul for the 4th straight on Saturday, demanding the resignation of President Park Geun-hye. Police said about 170,000 people turned out for the latest anti-park protest in the streets, while protest organizers sized Saturday's crowd at 600,000. The rally came as the state prosecutors prepared to question Park over suspicions that she allowed a secretive confidant to manipulate power from the shadows and amass an illicit fortune. Finally, sports news. European silver medalist Elena Radionova of Russia won the Cup of China on Saturday. Radionova, who was second after the short program, received 135.15 points for her free skate to finish with a total of 205.90. Caitlin Osmond of Canada finished second overall with 196 points after placing third in the free skate. Elizaveta Toktamisheva, also from Russia, was third. It's worth mentioning that the Cup of China is the fifth event in the International Skating Union's Grand Prix series.